Today we're looking at a couple of asymmetrical map matchups. So for the Ostrich Olympics in March tournament, the theme of this month is just having the different maps play against each other, because we don't have a lot of information on how they go, because every arena season since the beginning of Arc Nova has been on same map for all players. So sort of an interesting idea to see how the maps play against each other. For this month, it is limited to only map pack 1 and map pack 2. So you can pretty much ignore maps 1 to 8. We're not going to be looking at those. This is just primarily maps 9 through to T1. So yeah, the format of this is player 1 chooses the matchup they want. They choose, say, maps 10 and 14. And then player 2 gets to choose which side of the matchup they want to play that on. So they might choose 10, drawing Rescue Station. And yes, so the first matchup we're going to look at today is between Zixak and Thumbean. I don't know which player chose this matchup, but this is going to be between AI and Drawing Board. Which one do we think is going to do better? So immediately in my head, AI has the advantage because it has the 2 sides reward, which is something Drawing Board doesn't have. But they play very differently, so it's going to be sort of interesting to see how they match up against each other. And to be honest, I don't think map makes that much of a difference. More importantly is like the cards that you draw throughout the game, that sort of thing. Map can definitely play a part, but obviously even if you have a killer hand on something like Hollywood Hills, you will beat a Rescue Station. Hello Ratpong. Prefer Drawing Board to T1. Drawing Board's probably not as worse as I thought it would be to play. I think it's just very different to how I have been playing, but once you can sort of adapt to it and know what's right on the map, like for example starting 2 universities most of the time, I think it is a lot more playable. I still don't really enjoy it too much. Okay, from Zigzag's perspective, we do have the 2 good animals cards and sunbathing sponsors, so I think it makes a lot of sense just to start with sunbathing sponsors, knowing that you're gonna get one of the good animals actions back. And then choice doesn't really matter. Thumbean is going to get 2 good actions either way. They've obviously taken something better than trade sponsors, so... And they're going to also get one of the animals actions. So you're pretty happy with sunbathing and discount animals here. Thumbean does have X token, Assos, and mark animals. Hello, Mike. And pretty nice opening hand. So Aquarium's the instant keep. I think if you're going Aquarium, you also have to go Pelican as another instant keep for the double water tag. I think Pelican is like a fine animal on its own with a lot of release upside, but when you just have the double water tag to go with it, it's basically a must keep. And then the other decisions are a bit more interesting. So you could definitely argue the project that matches Sea Animal's base project is interesting. Although it's a bit tricky with AI because of the split upgrades. Let's say we do start Science Europe University to play Aquarium, which seems like the likely opening. Then do we really want to grab like a Sea Animal University before another Partner Zoo, which means no upgrade? Not sure. And our sponsors is starting at 5, so I mean, we could start with a cards action, but it might also be just good tempo to start with something like Expert on Australia. Might have some value with the Pelican as well. Something like start Expert on Australia, pouch a card into our university, into a cards action, into building, etc. So I'd probably go something like this maybe. I wouldn't be that afraid to pouch the project. End games over here, Specialized Habitat and Naturalist. So I mean that could be a reason to go Expert on Australia as well, just sort of start stacking up Australia icons for the Specialized Habitat. Hello, Itajan. Zigzag decides to go for the Reindeer, which, okay, does match the base project, so it is understandable. And also the management plan project. I think that does make sense too. Pretty interesting display. Okay, native farm animals in folder 4 is pretty damn scary because I think it's just in general a very good card, but on drawing board it's quite insane. On every other map in the game you have to start on the edge, but on drawing board you start right in the middle, so you can have all of the edges free for maximum appeal here. It actually starts with a very patient X-back cards move. So the idea being that we want to grab the Science 2 Rep Uni to be able to play Aquarium. We want to play Aquarium before the Pelican, so it kind of has to go in that order, I guess. Thumbean just starts by building a 5-size enclosure. Okay. Could definitely suggest like a round 1 release, but I mean, it also doesn't have to be a large animal if that's the case, but you would suggest then it's a bigger animal than a 1 or 2 size, because on drawing board you already start with the enclosure. So, and actually, Clever's back sponsors. Okay, so I mean that would even more suggest round 1 project. Just having a soul strength really high, not interested in causing the break at all. We do start with Science 2 Rep Uni. Thumbean wastes no time snapping up that native farm animals, which I think is a sensible choice. I mean, look at the start already touching 3 border spaces with basically no effort. Now, that surprised me a bit. Okay, the ordering of this is 4-size and then Aquarium. I was thinking definitely you want to play the Aquarium first, but I'm wondering about positioning here. I'm wondering why the positioning has to be this way. Because you could certainly do something like Aquarium over here and then 4-size down here. It wouldn't be too much different. Guess we'll find out. Okay, no project. Thumbean actually starts with hand size university. We do have Aquarium. Okay, over the card draw and Clever to pick up native seabirds. Pretty good to start with. I mean, that's already a 5 appeal native seabirds. Like, you could consider selling it, but it's definitely worth the keep for 5 appeal or more. Hello, Atoll. Also get a Clever here. I think it is early enough in the round that you don't mind clevering back a Sos, because we're also about to play the Pelican and then do a build action, so build is also going to get out of the way of a Sos and sponsors anyway. Thumbean builds single pavilion to pick up the wolf. I guess we can be pretty confident it's wolf release then. Otherwise, why the hell would you pick up a wolf? I think that's pretty clear telegraph there. Kind of fortunate that it... Well, okay, it was already in folder 2, but yeah, luckily no wave. Do have the Pelican coming down with a very nice build action. This is what I like about the Pelican. I mean, it's just an extra action. It's basically like a Clever, but it's using it to get sponsors and association high. So it's like perfect action order to do it. It's just improving your 2 important actions in the early game. Okay, 3-size to touch another water for native seabirds. 3-size also looking like maybe for the reindeer. There is the wolf. Here's a bit of an interesting one. I think it is worth spending the time to... I mean, spending the X token, spend an X to play seabirds. We could definitely do cards here, but I think the problem with doing cards is we don't have hand size. And Thumbean's just going to break after we do that. I can't imagine Thumbean wants to play native farm animals right now, so... Like the 1 size more than Pavilion. I could see that argument for the previous move from Thumbean. Well, I mean, yeah, the new maps do take some getting used to because they have different playstyles than what everyone else would be normally used to on maps 1 to 8. So I'm not going to say that it gets better like you're going to love them, but You will find more success if you do have some experience on them for sure. So yeah, the problem, I guess the kind of problem with doing cards is that we're just gonna have to discard whatever we get here. Okay, so snap up the bird management plan. Okay, I mean that also makes sense. We have the seabirds and pelican already played, so that is a round 2 project. Thumbean, of course, does break. Now we have to decide what to discard. I don't think we're too attached to the reindeer, but I also don't think we're that attached to the management plan, so I could see either one of those going. The reindeer does go. I think 4 size makes enough sense, because even getting a 4 size back next to double water and rock is still a good enclosure for most animals. And you don't really have to speculate on a 5 size, because we don't have the release, and there's no guarantee we will get the release. I think a 4 size is reasonable enough. It's still going to be able to house most things that you want to play in there. Do, of course, have the seabirds to enable the project. Thumbean starts off with a cards action. And we do have the bird management plan. I guess another interesting point, which reward do you take here? Because I think I would probably default to finding a bird. But Zixak actually chooses to take the extra kiosk / pavilion, which you can see does some nice stuff down here. Get a nice kiosk with pavilion next to it, and then 2 size over the AI folder, binder, whatever. And also does opt to take 2 CP worker. I think given what we know about the hand, that makes enough sense. Though I guess you could argue instead of 2 size, maybe snapping something like migration recording would also make sense. It is a bit scary sitting there. And there's also a pretty good native lizard sitting in folder 1. Like, we're already touching 6 water, but we're also touching, what, 6 rock as well? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pretty close to a 7, so doesn't seem too bad either. Yeah, might have regretted building that pavilion now. It does play a stoat in the 2 size. So I think this gives... Okay, well, okay. It could also be for like a predator management plan. But of course, if it is a wolf release, then you need that Europe icon to play the stoat anyway. So either way, it would make sense to play the stoat before project. It hunts nothing. Marks an anaconda in folder 5. I think just another patient move, just Xing back animals for Zigzag. That's why finding a bird could have been interesting as well, because I mean there's some nice small birds we hit that would just be playable in a 2 size or a 3 size there. Definitely need to do a cards action. Definitely need to do a cards action. Curious why the 3 size are not the small aquarium. That's a good point as well. Small aquarium is like guaranteed points with the aquarium sponsor, and if the plan is for this management plan, I think a small aquarium could definitely have made sense there instead of the 3 size. I think it was just because the reindeer was in the hand at the time, and that was potentially the next animal getting played. Thumbean does have wolf release and take snapping. You don't really have too much choice on drawing board. I mean, most of the time in my experience, it's either snapping or 5 money first, because there's no 2 size to take. So snapping is just kind of a reasonable one to default to. And there's, yeah, quite a few interesting cards. I mean, Lizards is another interesting one on drawing board, in that it's pretty easy to touch all 8 rock. But even without touching 8, it's pretty easy to touch like 5 or 6. Migration also, yeah, just generally strong card as well. Also getting to 5 CP first, so that is going to help with the native farm animals. Those are extra kiosks and pavilions. You can have a look at the placement, just look at that beautiful up there. This is why I love native farm on this map, because you just build kiosk, pavilion, pavilion, and you're touching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more border spaces with those 3 buildings alone. And you can do exactly the same down the bottom as well. Kiosk, pavilion, one side, another 5 spaces. Does upgrade build first, which is pretty common on drawing board. And especially when you have native farm, just really useful to do that as well. And does snap up the native lizards in folder 1. Okay, another really interesting decision. Zixak chooses to spend an X here to do cards, which does put the break in range for Thumbean. Could definitely consider breaking before building, because Zixak has an unspent worker. And there's definitely an urgency to get cards here. Oh, it is just to snap up the migration recording. Wow. See, that to me feels a bit unsnappable when there's just nothing happening with this hand. It feels like really bad to snap up. Even getting the grass snake there would have been pretty damn good with aquarium and habitat diversity. Thumbean does decide to build before breaking. I mean, is also threatening to play the native farm animals this turn, this round. See that? Yeah, building positioning at the bottom as well. And also a 2-size on the left. So native farm animals is ready to come online. It's currently at 16 appeal with very minimal effort. 16 appeal. 5 at the top, 5 at the bottom, 4 on the right, 2 on the left. I don't think you really need to max it out to touch these 2 up here. I think it's fine as it is. And yeah, the amazing thing about this map is that also when you just do these, this positioning at the top and the bottom, you also have an endgame shield up here and down here. Afraid of the stoat release? That is a good point. Yeah, you certainly don't want Thumbean to get migration during the break and then release the stoat as well. That is a bit scary. Maybe could have thought a little bit further ahead. So like instead of taking 2-size, take the snapping for migration, because you know that they most likely have a release, or I guess the stoat wasn't played at that point though. Okay, but does just grab second university, spending the worker before break. Does get Sea Animal University. I mean, Sawfish is okay. It's actually not too bad because Zixak has a ton of money right now. And it's just going to be nice to spend that money on the Sawfish, 1 animal. And then it also gives 2 tags. So with the management plan, finding another sea animal, that's a pretty easy path to 4 sea animals. Thumbean starts with native lizards. You know why? Because the ridiculous amount of appeal from native farm animals would actually put him over 25. So actually starting with the native lizards first, which is still 5 appeal in itself, which is pretty good. And that could also be an endgame shield if like this top left area remains uncovered. That's 2 rocks untouched, so that is an endgame shield as well, potentially. Yeah, cut down can be scary with native farm. Like, imagine later in the game this 5-size gets cut down. That's another 1 conservation point in this right region. It does have some very good synergies. Do you have the large aquarium coming down? Positioning's just nice, getting to the binder closer, the folder. Don't hate the idea of marking the mamba either, because like it's very playable if we get the grass snake and the sawfish down. Those are the 2 requirements there. Thumbean draws from deck. We could definitely play migration now, but I think it also just makes sense to break here. I'd probably be looking to just break 5. Actually goes ahead and sells migration. I probably would have kept it, given there's a release project already up there, but it's probably not the worst decision, because there's already like another 2 guaranteed projects to do with the management plan and the sea animal base project, and probably habitat diversity at some stage. You can see neither player is really rushing towards it at all. Can't really blame the drawing board player, because it's just so much better to start with universities. And going for like double partners view to get habitats 5 is almost certainly a mistake on that map. Thumbean snaps up the herbivore management plan. might have been more scared of the triggerfish or the jungle. I mean, they know Zixak has migration recording and a large aquarium, so I think the triggerfish might have been a higher priority. But obviously we don't know what's in Thumbean's hand, so we do know that native farm animals is one card there. And just starting off with second university, most likely to upgrade animals. Okay, animals and sponsors to go with it. Can he greed out a lizard? I think he should definitely greed out a native lizard shield. I think it's not that difficult to either, because you just kind of want to naturally fill in the right section and the bottom section. Though I guess it is a bit tricky now. If you do need another large enclosure, it kind of makes it really tough to not touch that area. Anyway, we do have the sawfish. This is my whole problem with cut down. I think, as interesting as it looks, it's not really that common that you actually want to use the ability. I guess it's fun when you do actually want to use it, but the problem is it just gives you money and you lose tempo because of it, so I'm not really a fan of it. But obviously we're not playing it for the cut down, we're playing it for the tags. Thumbean does have to spend an X to play native farm, and bam, 16 appeal like that. So all of a sudden it looks like Zixak was getting ahead, but native farm brings it right back to level, or dare I say an advantage to Thumbean right now. It really depends on what else is in this hand. Now we can start seeing the power of AI. Being able to do a Soset 4, get it boosted up to Strength 5, because he already has second university and both the map spaces covered. So it does the management plan, searching for a sea animal. Does get an octopus, which is, I mean, it's okay. Also going to take snapping, so would expect the triggerfish or the grass snake, but probably the triggerfish to get snapped up. And also 3 extra cards here as well from 5 CP. Takes breeding cooperation. Okay, it seems a little bit, maybe a little bit far away, but at the same time, it's also something that can just get sold with a sponsor's action, so it's not bad for that either. Actually draws into a firefish as well. AI is vet at home, yes. Can see Thumbean filling in the right side of the map for that bonus appeal. Kind of crazy, we're sitting on 3 upgrades over here, but Zixak is now just getting first upgrade from Partner Zoo. Also, yeah, another cute thing you can do with AI, just project into Partner Zoo with Soset 1. So breeding cooperation is actually not that far away, knowing that you can do that sort of move. Does upgrade animals first. Probably to sell, yeah, perhaps. I'm just trying to think. I mean, it's also kind of useful for habitat diversity. Can just actually play the octopus here, and then I guess at the same time you just grab America's Partner Zoo anyway to do that, so you don't really need the breeding cooperation. Thumbean has an ibex. So that is the second herbivore there. That does make the herbivore management plan playable as a next project for Thumbean. Why not grass snake? Yeah, grass snake does make a lot of sense. I would fully expect grass snake here. Guess you could even play grass snake and the octopus. I don't hate that as a move. It'd be nice if you could play both, but not enough money at the moment. Kind of a funny break 3 move, I guess, to maybe play grass snake and firefish. It's a little bit awkward without hand size now, because I'm pretty sure Thumbean just wants to break 4 here, which they do. And Thumbean does have snapping. I would have said for sure Galapagos gets snapped up here, but a rhino has just appeared, and that might be higher priority with Herbies as a base project. And the empty 5 size. That's kind of a tough one, though. I mean, Galapagos is so good. And there's just a filefish sitting here as well, which makes it extremely playable for zixak. That's a really tough one. Honestly, I might go for the Galapagos anyway. Or just short for octopus anaconda. Yeah, very true. You have to watch out for that with the camouflage ability, although it is gone now. Deciding to keep the breeding co-op, actually. Okay, 2 size over the clever over here. Pretty cool about AI is that it does have 2 clever spots on the map. That can be very useful. Galapagos is, of course, snapped up. And don't have to spend any X's here, can just do animals at 5. I mean, it'd be pretty tempting to play filefish into another fish, or another fish into filefish. Could also consider grabbing, like, America's Partners View first. Just goes for animals. Animals into a Sos upgrade, okay. I actually don't mind that. A Sos is one of those things you don't mind upgrading on AI, I think, anyway. And this could just be... Oh, actually, I like it a lot. Just play the filefish here, and you just go straight into spending 3 X tokens to do Habitats 5. Okay, Triggerfish first to constrict cards. Not the most impactful constriction, but still fine. Does draw into an expert on Asia. That'll be okay to play. Filefish from range just makes the Galapagos closer to being playable. Oh, and wow, gets a release for the Sawfish. Okay, there are so many projects to do now. I like this as well. Makes the decision to Cleverback build. It's sort of a natural reaction to like Cleverback cards here. You actually don't need to, because Sos is already at 5 strength, basically. Like, it doesn't need to go any higher. Thumbean spends the next to do the management plan, searching for a herbivore. Does hit an Amazon house. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe it's playable here. I'm fairly confident it's not. It would be going like that. So I think that rules out the Amazon house, unfortunately. Venom be better than a constrict? Oh, maybe. But it's also nice just getting the extra cards too. Like, they were 2 pretty damn good card draws. Having said that, you can't really complain about getting X tokens either, I guess. Or playable with cut down. Oh, you guys are thinking... you guys are 200 IQ thinking here. Okay, I'm on board. Cut down this out of the way. Now it is playable. Only problem is it will kill the native lizards endgame, but we can probably live with that. Also, don't have the Americas tag yet either. Okay, there we go. 3 X's for America. Okay, I mean, America's Partners View makes sense for the tortoise, but I was expecting Habitats 5. I guess it's not really a rush, because Thumbean is still sitting on only 2 Europe tags, so it's not like he's going to jump to 5 out of nowhere. And with the second Partners View, that is the last upgrade. It's going to be sponsors here. Sponsors over cards, I think, is okay. I mean, not like we're getting a ton of reputation right now. It does do Sea Animals 4 into Worker. Takes the marketing token at 8 and gets donation. Oh goodness, yeah, okay, kind of forgot about this. I guess Naturalist looks okay. I mean, we have all the enclosures we need right now. Don't really need to build anymore. Already have an enclosure for the tortoise. Can already release and play the firefish. And maybe the penguin if we're interested later. So yeah, it does keep naturals for 3 right now. Yeah, the 3 size is ready for it. Thumbean plays the Rhino. And a Kangaroo to go with it, okay. I mean, if that was in hand, then you can completely understand the decision to snap up the Rhino. I mean, I think you can justify it anyway, but the Kangaroo, like, really makes it clear. Zixak does cards at 6. Just draws from deck. There's the diversity researcher. Sure, Thumbean would love that right now. That's kind of interesting. In Zigzag's position, do you want the... Because, like, you can cause the break, not next move, but do you actually want to push the break? I guess the answer is you don't really need to. Just, yeah, there are sponsors to play. It's also, okay, probably not that interested in the PFAL. Thumbean X's back build. Yeah, does not need to build for the rest of the game, I would say. Well, maybe. Okay, discards Expert on Asia to play both sponsors at once. I do like the tempo on that. And diversity gives a ton of money. Not quite enough to play the tortoise, but I mean, not quite enough to do really anything with it. Because there's no room for the Firefish until this guy gets released. And is there even time to release this? Because we still want to do Habitats 5 as a project. Thumbean does cards. True. So instead of selling Export on Asia to boost the sponsor strength, could have sold it for money to be able to play the tortoise. So I don't mind that idea. I don't think it's that necessary that it gets played immediately, but I like the thinking. Does X back build here? I think if you're in Thumbean's position, you just want to break, right? And now we're getting to the right to the end game. This game could finish extremely quickly. Thumbean does snap up the penguin. Pretty clutch draw actually, because there is room in that small small aquarium just sitting there ready for it. That's one of the better animals you can play when you only have an aquarium and a 1 size and a 2 size. Zigzag snaps up the puffer. Could just be a second animal, or a third animal to play after the swordfish gets released. Chooses not to build 2 size to preserve naturals points. Although, okay, could have been built over rock or water, but honestly, it's not really necessary at this point. Penguin also gives species diversity now. That is a very good point. Okay. So if we look at how Thumbean finishes this game, could definitely be 4 Herbies into extra worker, into playing the penguin, and getting an extra reputation that way to get to 8 and a third worker. So, yeah, potentially ending in like 3 moves for Thumbean, depending on what the second animal is. Probably needs a clever as well. No interest in the science museum? It's a little bit difficult just to get that 4th icon. Definitely want to use the marketing token, but I don't think it's ever worth temper to like grab a university here. I don't think that's worth it. There is habitat diversity into X tokens. Yeah, just wanting to do the release next. Could have actually started with the release, just to be able to do animals and play 2 of them. Though I guess at the same time, Thumbean is kind of threatening habitats a bit with the penguin and maybe a second animal, like an America's animal. But Thumbean just starts off with Herbies. We kind of expect it into worker. Yeah, it's going to be a close finish. Does get snapping for the taper. Also, I mean, pretty decent two-size animal in terms of points that you can get. Okay, opting to spend that. It's actually very strong. Like being able to do a project, then only spend 2x tokens to do another project the move after that. Actually, so handy when you're playing AI. And what reward are we going to see here? I really doubt it's Animal Magnet, but yeah, maybe it's 12 money. Okay, there is the release. Into donation as well. Does this animal action cross? Not quite. Galapagos is plus 14. In Last Worker makes it plus 17. Plus 23. Zixak will get to 99 with this animal's action of Firefish and Galapagos. Maybe we're going to see a Badger into boosting up animals again. That could be a possibility. But Thumbean does have the Penguin, plus expecting the taper. Which means it would be so useful to cross this turn just before Thumbean can get another project done. But yeah, it's short on 1 point from that happening. Do have Galapagos first. I guess also money's a little bit too tight to go Badger lines. In fact, we can't even afford the Firefish and the Puffer. Okay, so actually just sells the Firefish. Does go for the Puffer. Oh, you know what? I feel about trading for... It is enough. I feel about trading money for appeal. Oh my god, it's a cross. Although, I have to ask though, why the Puffer instead of the Firefish? That just seems like a 1 point mistake. In fact, I can't see any reason for that. I totally forgot about appeal animals, yes. Hello, Tony. That's actually so bad for Thumbean because there is that species diversity project presumably in hand that can't get played right now. BM Venom. Yeah, the thing is that the Firefish Venoms anyway, so it's School Tours is a final action. Ooh. Wow, just imagine doing... have a look at the end games here as well, actually. Native Farm 1, 2, 3. Native Lizards 1. School Tours 1. There's 5 CP and endgames just sitting here. And over on this side, there is Breeding Co-op. Not even Aquarium. Only 1 from Breeding Co-op. And 3 from Naturalist. Diverse species for 2 for Thumbean. 112 to 109. Okay, Appeal Animals was super clutch there. Because if this game does go one more turn, it's a very clear win for Thumbean. Like, instead of School Tours, well, I guess School Tours and the Project would be the next 2 moves, but Project instead of School Tours would be even better because you could potentially trade for a better endgame as well. I'm sure there's some things to hit instead of diverse species, but probably not actually that many. Yeah, kind of crazy game. I think that just shows how ridiculous Native Farm is on this map. But I mean, having said that, there was still Wolf release to start with, which is always going to be an insane start. Both players sort of ignored habitats for 90% of the game, but pretty clutch project for Zixak towards the end. Yeah, I don't think Thumbean could have really done any other order to change. Like, maybe if they were to delay the last break to get like one more X token, but that requires a lot of foresight and knowing that you have the rep to get the second worker like that. But yeah, maybe a little bit too eager to cause the last break. Really nice game though. That was a 25 turn game. Only 4 breaks as well, so not a crazy number of breaks, just really fast pace from both players. Like, to keep it that close in 25 turns is very impressive. Money gained very even as well. That's with Thumbean causing a lot more breaks though. But that's also normal because Thumbean did start with a release project. Hello, Alex. Cards drawn from deck 3 versus 9. Yeah, crazy as well. We saw that early Snap of Migration recording. I was thinking, where the hell are these cards coming from? In fact, these 3 cards, they came from 5 CP. I'm pretty sure every card's action taken here, 3 of them was to snap a card, so that's quite funny as well. But on to game 2. We do have a different matchup, different map matchup. We have Milowitt against DugongEnjoyer. Now, I will say both of them are sitting on very similar ratings, but both of them feel incredibly underrated at this rating. I mean, they're both much stronger players than that rating would suggest. So again, I don't know which player picked the matchups, but we do have Lagoon versus Rescue Station. These would generally be considered like the 2 power picks. So we have seen this matchup a lot in the Ostrich because, I don't know, if you're picking like Rescue Station against AI, your opponent's just going to make you play AI. So you kind of want to have the maps balanced out a bit so you have something playable at least. Anyway, Milowitt is on Lagoon, Dugong on Rescue Station. And I think you'd be very happy to see marketing sponsors as a first pick. Basically instant keep in any first hand. And ignore requirement animals is okay. Kind of funny that the Rescue Station player like has no interest in it basically, because you can already ignore requirements with these digging spots. Does either map care about higher worker assos? Probably not. It's been a while since we've seen a Rescue Station game, but they do get the 2 CP for 4th worker. And yeah, nothing for 3rd uni, only 1 CP for 4th partner zoo. Typically, I'd be interested in higher worker assos if there was a 2 CP reward for 4th partner zoo, which is not the case here either for Lagoon. I could definitely see an argument where you'd want to keep hunter animals here. I don't think it's actually that bad at all. Because you can reliably discard your animals with marketing sponsors. And to be honest, with a couple of shark attacks, like this play can run out of animals, especially if Dugong is digging them away from range as well. Like, hunter animals actually could be decent here. But Milowitt does go for ignore requirement animals. Dugong has mark animals and higher worker assos. Well, I don't think that's very overrated. I mean, that's just a crazy thing you can do. I wouldn't necessarily go out of my way. Like, if it didn't match a base project, I probably wouldn't do it. But I mean, if you had something like an African elephant, amazing. Definitely pay some attention to the bonus rewards you get. Like, on maps where you get 2 CP for 4th worker, I do tend to take 2 CP worker more often to help get that 4th worker. I think on maps with 2 CP for unit for 3rd uni, I'm more inclined to start universities where it makes sense. And I think on maps with 2 CP for 4th partner zoo, I'm more inclined to upgrade association. Just to be able to get that 3rd and 4th. But I mean, that it varies a lot depending on what cards you get as well. Five sponsor hand, yeah. On Lagoon, you do get to keep 5 cards. So the public knowledge sponsor was Geologist. So Archaeologist is an instant keep. Just crazy with all the shark attacks you can get. I think there are also some good ideas with like Zoo School and Excavation Site. This can get you a lot of reputation early. Like covering the rep spot here is an idea for Excavation Site. You don't have to, of course, but out of all the spots, I think the one that I like the most is card draw plus X token. You can also do some funny things like double shark attack, but that's kind of difficult to line up. Yeah, I think generally I would go for like double card draw, double X token. I think it is worth keeping here for sure. You could definitely line that up with release of patterns as well. Like there's already 2 science here. Seems like a pretty easy pick. And Geologist is just a really good card as well. I'm not sure there's much interest in Cassowary or Lorikeet. I actually kind of agree with 5 sponsor start. And even worst case, say you don't get time to play one of them, you can just trade them with the display with snapping sponsors. 23 turns with 6 shark. We might see 6 shark attacks this game. You can get 4 from Archaeologist and 2 from the map. Okay, opts to start with the Cassowary. I guess this could be fine. Okay, actually, I mean, sorry, there is ignore condition, so we don't actually have to start with Australia Partners View to play it. Maybe it's more sensible. Okay, let's see how it goes. Do you have a free range monkeys? We have a common wombat. I don't think anything that interesting on this play. I mean, herbivore management plan with the wombat and platypus could be interesting. Could have some ideas of a project that way. Yeah, I don't think anything surprised me as seeing Science 2 rep start. Makes Archaeologist easy first play. But you could also have ideas of like a Zoo School first play. Zoo School here to cover the rep. Rep from Zoo School, that is a upgrade turn 2 of the game, most likely on sponsors. Can you double shark attack? I'm fairly sure the answer is no. I know at least when I brought it up to JD like way, way, way back in the day, he was like hell no, but I think the answer is no. Someone feel free to test it out, but I don't believe it should work with Excavation Site. Because I'm pretty sure Archaeologist is proccing when you cover a border space, not when you get a border space reward. Or hang on, every time you gain the placement bonus of a border space. So the question is, are you getting the border space bonus twice, or are you getting 1 from the border space and 1 from Excavation Site? Gain any placement bonus you get for placing this unique building twice in a row. It's not very clear, to be honest. Okay, I think we have some confirmation in the chat, though. Interesting starting placement for Dugong. Okay, 2 size over an X token. What is this man cooking up? I guess one kind of interesting thing about playing against Rescue Station is that it's just so easy to get a round 1 project that you kind of know they're going to have a really, really long round 1 because they want to set up their round 1 project, and because it is such a good 2CP worker map, they might want to set up their project and spend a worker on like a partners or a university after that, so you do have a lot of time to play a lot of sponsors in round 1. That can be a good or bad thing depending on how good your sponsors are. Dugong actually snapped up the herbivore management plan. Okay. Milowitt does start off with the 3 size. Just starting on the left side of the map, just to get the first Archaeologist to eat the wombat. I mean, it's okay. It's 2 appeal. Would I prefer 2 appeal or 1 reputation? Actually, I'm not sure. The thing is, it does kind of kill the good excavation site spots, so... See how he plays it. Does go for the shark attack. And does actually draw up free-range monkeys. So, I mean, it does match the base project. Maybe it's just fodder to trade with the display, but... Seems like a bit of a weird draw as well. Oh, and... Native farm animals alarm. Okay, this makes sense. Dugong plays Okapi stable for that herbivore tag. Takes the breeding corporation from folder 1 and plays a native seabirds to go with it. So maybe has a small herbivore to play. Or maybe is just going to cover this digging spot and dig away a herbivore like the platypus or the tambucky. Milowitt, of course, happy with a longer round 1. Does just X back cards. Dugong does build again. Okay, small aquarium. So gonna dig away. Cute. Digs away the muskox. Out of all the animals, yeah, this is probably the one you dig away because you can flock a kangaroo or a moose with it. You can flock any herbivore with it. Or any flocking herbivore with it. We do have the cassowary from Ignore Conditions. And that could be a very useful 2x token seer. Just kind of nice round 1 to double X back build. We do have the management plan, so it has already been a long round 1. We just now have Dugong doing the project. Does take 2 size reward. Gets a giraffe from searching for a herbivore. Might dig it away immediately, although it can be useful for the Africa tag as well. I think that is telling. Only digs once, so that would tell us that Dugong is pretty happy with the hand that he has. Choosing not to dig a second time. Actually runs out of time this move, so maybe actually just ran out of time to dig. But does not go for 2 CP worker, instead upgrades sponsors. We do have Milowitt snapping up that native farm animals, trading it with the free-range monkeys. And playing the excavation site over the reputation. So that is a double rep into sponsors upgrade. Dugong X's back animals. Could be in for a bit of a long round 1 still. And actually, Milowitt is opting to build twice instead of Xing it back twice. With native farm animals being here, that could make sense to touch some more border spaces. Do have a 2 size down here. Getting a couple more border spaces and an X token. And just a pavilion over the wave spot to make sure the platypus dies. Okay. Dugong follows up with an explorer. Oh, goodness. Whose position would we rather be in right now? Archaeologist with a lot of shark attacks is scary. 5 rep is also scary. But down here we have Explorer plus 2 size bonus already. Quite a few empty enclosures. And now Milowitt does cards and follows up with a talented communicator. Which I think on this map is just such an insane sponsor to get, because as soon as you get a work, you get another person sponsor, and person sponsors is ridiculously strong. Dugong builds a 3 size now. Dugong's position is easier to play. I don't know if the addition of Taco changes that. Because I think it just seems so easy right now just to play Communicator and just get first Partner Zoo or something. Get Africa Partner Zoo, for example. Okay, does break 3. Discards Geologist to play a sponsor. And actually plays Zoo School over the money and shark attack, chooses to eat the Tambaki, and draw up the Wolverine to match the Savannah project, although now I think is a really tricky decision which card do you actually discard in this hand. That's something has to go here, because now the break is on 7 out of 9. And I think with that draw, we just got told that it's not going to be Wolverine or Savannah. And I can't imagine it's native farm animals here. Dugong does cause the break. About time. Dugong does snap up the aquatic project. It's not really an ideal second project, but it is a project. Probably still has the giraffe. We kind of can expect that from the 3 size enclosure. Don't know what else we know about Dugong's hand, though. Taco can go because close to second worker. I mean, I kind of agree with the sentiment, but like, it's still such a good card because it just makes your third and fourth worker that much closer, and it means you could really like take marketing very early. But Taco does go. Also gets 2 sides during the break to eat the big nose. You know what we love about Explorer and Rescue Station? When you eat new tags, you still get the Explorer appeal and money. How fun is that? Before Pelican Dig. Oh boy, so does put you in range of primates as well as the next potential project. Okay, just very calm double university start for Milowitt, which is also fine because very close to getting a second worker with 8 reputation. So just very natural to upgrade animals here. Don't even need it really because you can play the Wolverine and get the rep anyway. But yeah, we could definitely see Wolverine into... Oh, okay, we still... Oh, this is kind of awkward actually. We have to build a 3 size here, and then we don't actually have enough money to play the Wolverine. We're actually missing 1 money to do this. Not eat, rescue them? Nah. They're living underneath your board. That's eating them. I don't... It's like in Sky Team when you shoot the planes out of the sky. Like, that's what you're doing. You're not telling them to move. Like, this is just what's happening. I'm sorry to break it to you, but these animals are underneath the board now. They've been eaten. Yeah, so I guess the next question is, where is the 3 size going that would make sense for native farm animals? You could definitely go up the top here. Would touch another 2 border spaces. There's not really much else to achieve on the right side of the map. Dugong plays Grass Snake for more Explorer value and this second water tag for Aquatic. So 2 cards left in hand. Aquatic and maybe the Giraffe, but also maybe not. Hand size or species? That's a good question as well. I'm not sure. I see the merits of both of them. Species, we might run into some hand size issues. Because, yeah, the problem is that we can't play this Wolverine just yet. Dugong also clevers back build and marks the Macaw. I actually have a 4 size here. This is kind of cute placement to touch another border space for native farm. But we do have to keep in mind that if we do play the Wolverine and release it, we're not getting this 4 size back. We're only getting the 3 size back here. It does wave away the Macaw, which goes into Dugong's hand. Yeah, true. That's a good point. It's just nice to be able to hold on to these extra cards with marketing sponsors, because you always want to have 1 or 2 left over to be able to discard to play a sponsor. It is actually very useful. Yeah, no surprises, 2 aquatic for Dugong. Into Snapping Reward, just very common first and second project rewards. Exactly, it's a gen. And does take the Bamboo Forest. Now, thankfully, you can't release rescued animals. But that could definitely be for the giraffe that's in the hand. Cobra appears. It's also this kind of annoying Jaguar. Oh, I see. Maybe the plan is Jaguar release instead, and that's what the 4 size is for. Because it is totally playable with ignore conditions. So would it be crazy to just like break 3 here for money and then try to play Jaguar from range? That's kind of what I would try to do here, I think. Okay, maybe do a cards action first. Oh. Is this the second game in a row we're seeing an unplayable Amazon house? Can get discarded here to play native farm, I guess. Dugong just causes the break, though. Yeah, this is why hand size is nice, just don't have to worry about discarding. You can release the flocked animals. Yes, you definitely can. Pretty stacked display now. What is first priority to snap here? I mean, I think surely it has to be the Cobra. Cobra is insane for Milowitt. Just can already play it. Like, it feels too strong. At the same time, you have things like the Triggerfish and the Garment that work towards Africa. There's Baboon Rock, which is pretty strong. Also would give Dugong a second primate. Does actually go for the Triggerfish. Okay, there is also an empty aquarium here, but no university at the moment. It fits on the right with build upgrade. Oh, that's cute panda. Okay, is that worth upgrading build for? Hell no, it's not. We're not upgrading build to do that. Build is so far... Okay, we could totally do it from 2 CP, but then we're just never upgrading cards and we're about to hit 10 reps. So no, that's not worth. That's not worth. Okay, June also takes the Baboon Rock with 2 size reward. So it does get both, or the Cobra's still pretty annoyingly here. Oh, now to make matters worse, a Brown Bear appears. But that is not playable for Milowitt either, even after the Wolverine, because there's no spot for a 5 size. But does just patiently start with Africa Partner Zoo, just basically fully utilizing the boost association strength. Start with Partner Zoo, play Wolverine, boost it back up to 5. Dugong does snap up the Cobra, so it does deny the sort of 3 power cards there, I guess, that were on display. We do have the Wolverine. We could totally have the Agama as well. There is an empty 2 size here. And I guess why not? We don't mind selling the Amazon house. Don't mind selling the Gobi either. Though you could definitely argue that you just keep one of those to discard while playing a sponsor. Dugong does play that Giraffe, so we might be seeing that released very soon. Also, a Carpy stable value with the Baboon Rock, very nice. Where does that go? Pretty neat spot there. This map is looking a little bit cooked right now, I will say. And also kind of funny, it's just something that can naturally happen on Rescue. You just have so many projects that no universities, no partners use right now. Which also means very few upgrades. And only that animal, we know that the Triggerfish is not playable without a university, so that's just sitting in the hand as well. We do have the Wolverine release for Milowitt. Of course, getting that 3 size back. Now, of course, we are going to see cards upgraded. not build. Amazon House already gone. And I think 3 size makes enough sense here. 3 size looks pretty nice for the koala. I mean, there's already a 3 size there for it, but we can just pick it up with the extra reputation from the release, so that looks like a really good get for us. You can also eat the brown bear at the same time with that 3 size. I'll take the koala. Just 2 size over the card draw. I mean, the bird breeding program could potentially be a next project if we grabbed Australia Partner Zoo. Where are our endgames again? Well, I don't think we ever looked at that. Designer Zoo. Okay, I mean, for 2 CP, can't ever get worse than that, so it's okay. Okay, Penguin Pool appears. Birds is a base project as well. Dugong does spend an X to do the giraffe release. Can't take snapping, does take extra worker. But does get a snapping at 5 CP, so can get the penguin pool that way. Oh yeah, true. Penguin pool's not playable. Yes, because that is a baboon rock shape down there. Yes. This map is very, very cooked. Koala's the best animal that this map is going to see for the rest of the game. That's a tough position to play when you're only on 14 points. Yeah, there's very little room here to play good animals. I guess the saving grace is 3 shark attacks coming in still. That could give a lot of appeal. Dugong does win the race to University on 8, which is very important for their tempo. But let's grab hand size. But importantly, it does make the triggerfish playable for them. We do have break while playing native farm finally. Not a bad 11 appeal. I guess that's another big advantage that Milowitt has. You can see after that scores are about even. And enclosure position is actually not that different either. The difference here is that there is room for a 5 size though. Yeah, true. Yeah, it is kind of like that. With Zoo School as well a bit. Zoo School's native farm doesn't often go well together. Archaeologist doesn't either because you want to cover the border spaces, but native farm says you don't want to cover them. But it's worked out pretty well here. Don't like Milowitt's position at all. I'd say it's still relatively close. When we look at the long-term ideas for projects, like Dugong does have 2 primates. And with the penguin pool, I guess is threatening birds a lot harder now. Plays the penguin pool here. Nice positioning over the digging spot. This is also what we love about Rescue Station. When you dig away a flamingo, you get the penguin pool points for it. Waza Special. Okay, I actually really like that as an idea. I think Waza Special could be very good here. I actually agree with that. There's just no need to play large animals, so you might as well get rewarded for playing small animals. I like that a lot. I think it'd be definitely a good idea to draw it up and play it. Okay, does cause the break with cards. Oh, it's a painful rhino. I guess the rhino would be playable if there was a bird release or an Australia release for this cassowary. But probably can't rely on either of those things appearing. Having said that, Expert in Large is also doing nothing at the moment. Because there's no large animals coming in this zoo. Okay. 2 size over the clever. Can eat the vulture here just for an extra 3 appeal. Dugong does snap up the ostrich, which can't get eaten by Rescue Station, but yeah, there is still room for a 5 size down here, so could definitely be looking at playing it. Okay, there's still room for a 5 size in the corner here, so could still be looking at playing it. And just uses this opportunity to secure Bird University as second uni, which Pretty important to get second uni here. Just allows upgrade animals, second upgrade. Then getting to 5 rep will get a third upgrade. So you can live with 3 upgrades. It's harder living with 1 or 2. Does get a long build vulture. Unfortunately, the positioning of that 2 size has just sort of killed any ideas of the long build vulture, so that's not coming out. Does upgrade animals. Yeah, there are so many projects for Dugong to do. Is sitting on 4 birds right now, so that is priority number 1, I guess. But yeah, also sitting on 2 primate management plan. Not any others at the moment. Even Tasdevil release could... I don't think that's necessary at all. We do have second partners with Milowitt. A SOS upgrade could definitely help. If you can't get points from animals, you can get some points from donating, so they could be very useful. And this just makes the... Where the hell did the bird breeding program go? Huh? Where the hell did that bird breeding program go? I was going to say that's our next project to do. What the heck? Yeah, this rhino is dead. The Expert Large is dead. I guess our next project is to Africa. Oh. There's 5 stars for the ostrich. Clevering back cards. What would the last upgrade be for Dugong? Probably a SOS. Discarded to play native farm. Oh. Okay. Why is the specialist still sitting here, which I like as well? Okay, we do have Koala. Koala into pouching both the useless cards. I do agree with that. And I like Tasdevil from display as well. Now, I definitely not pouched Expert in Australia, but we can get a random card here. Okay, yeah, we can deny the project and pouch it. I like it a lot. Good use of pouching. Also very important just to get points in other ways when there's like no enclosure space left on the map. So I also wouldn't hate something like building a 1 size or a pavilion just to get another shark attack, because otherwise that's not possible during the break with a 2 size. Dugong does upgrade a SOS. I think that's a very sensible decision. Starts with the ostrich. And goes for the triggerfish. That's a reasonably painful constrict on sponsors, actually. And does take Waza. I like that as well. Waza could definitely be a next play. Dugong's in kind of a similar position, like no large enclosure space left. Could be a very good Waza special game too. Although missing 1 rep to actually play it at the moment. Actually starting off with a cards action. Oh, it's very painful right now. Wouldn't actually mind picking up the Meerkat Den and playing it, but there's no rock, so it's actually not playable. But seems like a good opportunity to draw up the herbivore breeding program. That could be another project to do. And also denies the sea lion, although I say deny, but it's also very playable for us in the 3 size here. Farm cat can definitely go. Large animals projects. You know what else we love about Rescue Station? This zoo has 3 large animals in it. That is a 4 CP project for DugongEnjoyer. Isn't that crazy? Does play sponsorship primates from display. So also can't fit the Meerkat Den. Oh, that feels like... I don't know about that. That feels like a horrible use of an upgraded sponsors 5 action. So I guess the question is, who is the break better for right now? I mean, I guess the answer is Milowitt. Dugong has a 5-bird project coming in, can easily take like 5 money or 12 money. Has a lot of cards in hand as well, so could just totally slow the game down, I guess. Because low mountain range appears. Oh, that Rhino would have been playable after all. Well, I think Rescue Station just has so many of these fun interactions. Right? Everyone enjoys seeing that. Yeah, there is the herbivore breeding program into play a person sponsor for free. I don't think the timing is horrible on it, although I think it would also make a lot of sense to just take snapping here, like at least snap away the large animals project. Okay, having said that, about to get 3 cards from 8 CP, so it's also fine timing to deny the project. And that's also really good timing to be able to pouch a card with Expert on Oz. Yeah, I can also take the low mountain range. Ooh, I don't know about leaving the large animals project here. That feels a bit dicey. Nice to take away the low mountain range from the ostrich. But that's a scary project. Also gets first donation. Designer's View stays for 2. Yeah, but I mean, if we could get the low mountain range before we play the koala, then the rhino could have been playable. There's a lot of ifs. Birds project into 3 X tokens. Also don't hate that either, because it's very tough playing from no X tokens down. And with this donation, 63 to 58 endgames. Not really much happening for either player, really. 1 away from Penguin Pool, but that's it. 0 endgames over here, none from Native Farm. Still a couple of shark attacks, and playing person sponsor for free. That is some advantage Milowitt has. Down here, a lot more empty enclosures, but yeah, no big ones either. That depends a lot on how many cards you have to pouch. Because I think it's a little bit much to expect you to play a koala and Tazdevil and pouch 2+1 and then 1+1. That's way too many cards to expect to pouch. Yeah, exactly. It's just tough to find that quantity of cards. Because cards also have a value. Not sure I would totally do a cards 2 action here. I think, to me in this position, it just seems kind of natural to just break 3 and then see how Dugong responds and then do a cards action at 3. I don't think doing cards at 2 achieves very much. Hits a petting zoo and another release, but I don't think we're really interested in either of those. Dugong just X's back build, just really setting up for last round. Now, I do like this build action. Like we said, this is a nice shark attack here. Only 3 appeal, but it's like a 4-point move. That's not bad at this stage of the game. Also a tasty looking lion to eat during the break as well for Milowitt. 2 sides eat the lion. Dugong does cards, sitting on a ton of cards right now. I don't know about this cards action either. Why are we doing cards at 2? It seems like a kind of natural time to just break and make sure to eat the lion. But I guess just really searching for that person sponsor to play during the break, but that's kind of a tough thing to get. Frill Lizard is at least a very playable animal with some Expert in Australia pouching value, so that's a good find. And Dugong calls the break with cards. I guess. I think if you're causing the break with cards at 1, you either want to play a sponsor early in the round, or you have to be really confident that you have enough money for everything you need to get to 100. Otherwise, I think it's also just very natural to break with sponsors. Always wave before eating. That is true. That is true. I guess the risk is that the animal you want to eat gets waved away. But I guess if it's getting waved away, then it's something else edible, I guess. There is that person sponsor. But Milowitt does not have snapping. Dugong calls the break as well, so gets priority on taking the large animals project, which is amazingly still there. I don't know how that managed to avoid get taken away, but yes, that makes sense as a snap. If Hydrologist was snappable here, it would definitely be the correct snap, but only 2 size. You can at least eat that lion. And could definitely see Hydro as a first move. I mean, you certainly don't want Dugong to have it with 4 water tags already. It's just like 1 appeal and 1 endgame shield. It's fine. Perhaps you could consider... maybe not. You could do something like consider play the chameleon, but then it's really not enough money to play a second animal. So yeah, I don't really like that. But it would just be nice to get Hydro in the hand and then play it while breaking or something. Dugong does the large animals project and takes 2 rep. 2 rep is useful for a couple of reasons. It does unlock a 3rd worker soon, but it also does give the reputation needed to play Waza's special assignment on small, if that is still an idea. Donates for 7. Milowitt does have some handy points coming in, getting Partner Zoo from 16 rep, which unlocks another worker and another person sponsor. And it's very nice to be able to play 2 Australia animals and get double pouching with Expert here. Expert on Europe looks like a perfect candidate to pouch. Yeah, I mean, look at this insane value from Expert. Not only did it give 4 or 5 appeal by itself, but then the extra pouches are just so valuable. Does pouch one of the projects. No Waza, just a vet for Dugong. Okay, what do we actually know about Dugong's hand? Because I'm remembering one very specific card that could be really nice here. And the vet kind of gives it away, I think. But sitting on 3 X tokens. Is there even a cross for Milowitt? A So7 for 2 reputation and last project just to Africa, 12 money donation, 100 exactly. Vet gives perfect tempo to play the Cobra from all the way back at the start of the game. Just got the second science from Vet as well to play it. Cobra into Hypnosis and Chameleon. So I guess with all those cards, he was really just searching for a second playable animal and never found it. Into final project. Primates for 2 and 12 money and donation. Unfortunately, we kind of already looked at the end games. There's like none here. End games a 2 for Designer Zoo for Milowitt, but that is already enough. And okay, actually 1 away from Excavation Site, but does have the Hydrologist end game as well. So it's going to be 109 to 101. Large animals for 3, actually. That's another crazy thing. You can just get large animals so easily just by digging them away. Yeah, 109 to 101. I think that just shows, because this map was heavily compromised, but it shows how much you can lean into a certain, or a couple of sponsors and get like a ton of points from them. Expert in Australia giving at least 11 appeal, 3 pouches, and 5 for playing it, I think. 11 appeal is a crazy amount. Native Farm gave very similar as well when it was played. I think it also gave 11. Like getting 22 of your points out of 109, a fifth of your points from 2 sponsors is crazy. Also, Archaeologist giving a lot of points as well from Shark Attacks. Can't forget that. That probably gave more than 11 throughout the game. And yeah, there's like not that many points coming from projects. 2 Africa, Herbivore Breeding. What was the first project? Wolverine release, that's it. 3 projects for the game. Some points from donations, 2 from donations. Like, it's just so many points from sponsors. And then on this side, I'd say we got more of the points from Dugong from projects. I mean, doing 6 projects that game, which is sort of how you do play Rescue Station, including 5 birds, large animals for 4. Like, so many points from projects. But also quite a few from sponsors, like Explorer, Penguin Pool gave a lot as well. Native Seabirds for 4 at the start of the game. Baboon Rock for a couple. Just very interesting to see how the 2 different playstyles of the maps play against each other. And I don't think this will be a record-breaking pace, because we did have a very, very long round 1. Having said that, even though it's such a long round 1, 27 turns. That's actually still really quick. I thought it would be way over 30, given how the game started. Yeah, I think it's an interesting concept for an Ostrich Olympics month. I made sure to avoid it though, because I don't like any of the new maps really. But I think we will have the finals for that coming up reasonably soon. Not sure exactly how it works, but yeah. 2 quite different ideas today. Sort of interesting to look at. But for the next 3 weeks, we'll just be focusing on some arena games. We are getting to the pointy end of the season. 24 days left. BDW is taking a bit of a lead at the top now, so we'll see if Song Chen can catch up again. Should be an exciting race at the finish. Anyway, yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. Have a good rest of the day, and good night.